In a market where we're seeing very few risks being taken, the Nextbit Robin shines proudly as an example of something different. A unique take on trying to solve a problem that plagues all users. We'll talk about that shortly, but first, this is Dhruv Bhutani from Fonearena.com and we're unboxing the Nextbit Robin. Now at the outset, you'll notice that the box of the Nextbit Robin is very unique and very different from most others in the market. There's nothing in terms of specifications or anything else on the box itself. So when you open it up like a book, the first page basically reads, "Hey Rebel, meet Robin." Now Nextbit has taken a very gutsy approach towards the Nextbit Robin. It's a very different take on Android, a very different take on a smartphone, a cloud connected smartphone, and it really shows in the packaging as well. You move on to the next page and you basically got a description of how the cloud connected bit of the Nextbit Robin really works, but we'll talk about that in the video itself. So moving on, flip over the next page and you get access to the phone, which is the Nextbit Robin, as well as the Type-C charging cable. Now this is a tangle-free cable, really slim. It's one of those flat cables, and well, there's nothing really else to talk about here. The phone does not come with a charger, but you do get a SIM ejector tool, which has, well, it's slipped out from its packaging, but yeah, you do get a SIM ejector tool, and that's about it. So let's move over to the phone now. So here we've got with us the Nextbit Robin. You'll notice that this is a very visually appealing and a very striking device to look at. The phone ships in this very cute looking mint color. There's also a darker variant. There's a third color that's not going to be available in retail, that is Kickstarter exclusive, so there's not much of a point in talking about that. Moving on to the visual elements of the device, you'll notice a front-facing speaker at the top. Next to it is the 5 megapixel front-facing camera, and while most manufacturers tend to hide the proximity sensor under a black layer of glass, Nextbit has made it a design element of the phone, and they've made it look almost symmetric to the front-facing camera. It looks very nice to say the least. There is another speaker here which you might mistake for the home button, but it's not that. That's because the Nextbit Robin comes with dual front-facing speakers. There is a significant bezel running around the display. This is a 5.2-inch screen, but we'll talk about that shortly once we power on the device. Moving over to the right hand side, you'll notice that there is a power button which also integrates the fingerprint scanner into it. This is similar to what Sony has done with the latest generation Xperia series of phones, where the power button also doubles up as a fingerprint scanner. Below it is the SIM card slot. This is a single SIM device and it does not take micro SD cards either. So you're locked into the 32 GB of storage built into the phone as well as the cloud component. Now moving over to the left hand side of the phone, you'll notice that the volume rocker on the handset is made of these dome shaped plastic buttons. While they have a very nice clicky sound to them when you press them down, we found that the travel on the buttons was very minimal and it's not very ergonomic. You always feel that you're not really pressing down enough. So that's something that we might be nitpicking here, but yeah, that's something that we found to be slightly problematic on the Nextbit Robin. Now at the bottom is the USB Type-C connector as well as the microphone porthole, and at the top is the headphone jack and another microphone porthole. Now moving up to the back of the phone, you'll spot the 13 megapixel rear facing camera as well as the dual LED flash, once again perfectly shaped, and they're completely symmetric. In fact, symmetry runs across the design of the handset, which is possibly one of the most beautiful looking phones that we've come across in recent times. At the bottom you'll spot the Nextbit logo as well as a cloud logo at the top, which pays homage to the fact that the Nextbit Robin is a cloud connected device. If you notice closely, you might also observe 4 LEDs under the cloud connected logo, under the cloud logo. Now these 4 LEDs are usually off until the time the phone connects to the cloud and starts backing up the data. At that point of time, these LEDs will start blinking, and they're a nice visual indication of the fact that your phone is uploading and backing data up to the cloud, and well, it's just doing its job the way that it is supposed to. So let's power up the device now. So the Nextbit Robin is running on Android 6.0 with a fairly customized ROM on top of it. There is a 5.2-inch Full HD IPS display, as we had mentioned earlier. We found that the sunlight visibility was pretty decent, and while the colors are slightly muted on the display, they're very natural to look at. If you're expecting AMOLED-like vibrant colors, then this might not be the perfect device for you. Moving on, you'll notice that the skinning is fairly minimal. They've added some custom icons on top of it. You also do not get the two-level app hierarchy, so there is no app drawer here. You just have the lock screen and the home screen, wherein you get access to the app icons. There are also some interesting changes made to how widgets are displayed on the device. There's a nice gesture which pulls up all the widgets, but you cannot place the widgets on the app drawer screen, which might be a bit of a disappointment for a couple of users. Beyond that, you can, of course, the way that the cloud connected part of the phone works is that once the phone drops down to about 2 GB of storage, and it constantly monitors your usage of the device, it starts backing up data to the cloud. It backs up only those apps that it knows that you haven't used in a while. So that means that if you're getting on a flight, or if you're going to be in a low connectivity area, you're not going to get caught up in a surprise without your apps on board. The same goes for photographs, wherein it can back it up to the cloud. You get about 100 GB of storage, cloud connected storage. The phone also has 32 GB storage built into it. But the addition is that you can also pin certain apps to the device itself. It will not remove those apps from the local storage, which is basically the premise that Nextbit offers, that the phone comes with unlimited storage. So let's take a look at how much storage is built into the handset. Out of the 32 GB of storage, there's about 24.6 GB available at first boot, which is about par for the course. So the Nextbit Robin is powered by the Snapdragon 808 processor. It might not be absolutely cutting edge, but that certainly does not mean that it is a slow poke either. Moving around the app menu is absolutely fast. We've also tested out a lot of benchmarks. We've run a couple of games on the handset, and we found it to be absolutely perfect for all-day usage. In fact, we found that the Snapdragon 808 was perhaps one of the most frugal higher-end chipsets that were launched by Qualcomm in the last couple of quarters, and that definitely mitigated the heating issues that were a part and parcel of the Snapdragon 810 processor. Beyond that, you get 3 GB of RAM on board, which is absolutely sufficient for any kind of multitasking that you might want to do. In terms of battery life, the Nextbit Robin has a 2680 mAh battery built into it. It also supports quick charging, which means that you can easily quickly top it off. In our usage, we also observed that the Nextbit Robin gets just about a full day of usage, but you'll certainly have to top off this device overnight. So we'll be bringing you the full review of the Nextbit Robin very soon. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions, please do let us know in the comment section. This was Dhruv Bhutani from Fonearena.com. Thanks for watching.